Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Rake and Profit. Hope you all are having a fantastic day. I'm actually on my little walking pad right now, and I was gonna do a walking video and see how many steps I can get during this video, but it's so loud, you probably can't hear it, but it keeps creaking. So I'm just gonna be standing on my treadmill and not walking, but just wanted to point out that note. But in today's video, I wanted to share with you 11 tips to be able to keep your account safe if you're gonna be thrifting or if you're gonna do eBay to Amazon, because that's what I do in my business. I buy items on eBay, I flip them on Amazon. In the last year alone, I've done over 6,000 products for about 700,000. It's a little less, I think it's like 650,000, but 700,000 has a nice ring. That's what I did last year. This year's a little bit less. And the reason it's a little bit less is I've just become more picky and particular about the items that I'm flipping. So like the longer you do eBay to Amazon, or you sell, any form of online arbitrage, right? Where you're buying on a website like eBay, or maybe you're buying from, I don't know, Kohl's or Target, or maybe you're doing Amazon to Amazon flips. You're gonna learn like products that get returned all the time. You're gonna learn about products that maybe they just don't sell. Or for me, like one of the big things that, like a big change that I made in 2025 versus 2024 is we've increased our minimum ROI and even the way that we calculate ROI. Like last year, we only calculated, like when we were calculating how much ROI and profit an item made, we had a $2 overhead and then another $2 overhead. So like $2 per, kind of like, how do I say it? It costs about $2 for a virtual assistant to source an item for me. And then it's about $2 on the back end to have my prep center receive it, ship it. It's a little less than that, but I just figured, hey, $4, that'll be good. But when I actually added up all of my expenses from not only what my sourcers cost, we buy about 600 items per month, but taking into consideration like bookkeeping and taxes, well, not necessarily taxes, but like what I pay my accountant for the year. Let's see, other expenses like supplies and returns, right? Taking into consideration returns and taking into consideration, like I have someone who reprices for me that I pay part-time hours, and then another person that's about $600 a month. Comes out to like almost $2,500 to $3,000 a month. So we are adding in, instead of $4 overhead, $7, okay? So just some things to keep in mind. That's why my numbers are down a little bit, but my profit margins are up. So that's really what matters at the end of the day. But in this video, I wanted to share, again, 11 things to be able to keep your account safe if you're thrifting, if you're doing eBay to Amazon. So let's get right into it, okay? Number one, make sure that if you're gonna be buying items to flip on Amazon and you don't have invoices from a wholesaler, if you don't have good arbitrage invoices from maybe a website that they'll accept, like Walmart or Target, sometimes they don't even accept those. That's why I say there's a lot of online arbitrage people who are like, I'll never touch a thrift store book, or I'll never ever flip a new DVD or buy from eBay. That is just a sin. You're gonna get freaking kicked off in the next week. But then I say, hey, I've been doing this for 5 years, 30,000 products, actually 35,000 products, and I'll put a screenshot up of my account health. It's all zeros. How can this be done? I'm either the luckiest man in the whole world or I have a system. No, I'm following certain things. And number one is I'm not flipping items that are too popular. So if you don't have invoices, don't be going after even DVDs that are 3,000 ranked, 5,000 ranked, because those are the ones that are most susceptible to being counterfeit or getting an IP complaint from the brand, especially if you're going after DVDs that are in the health and fitness, exercise niche. There's DVDs that are 1,000, 2,000 rank in the DVD category. You're just asking to get an IP complaint from the brand. It's the same with tools or electronics or even board games, right? Or video games. Stay away from the stuff that is super duper popular. Out of the 35,000 products that I flipped, I would say honestly, over 34,000 of them are selling anywhere from 1 time per month to 10 times per month, okay? Maybe it's 90%, I don't know, but it's up there. So the majority of the items that I'm flipping, they're not super popular. They're not super sexy. You're not going to be seeing, these things selling like the products I'm flipping 200, 300, 500 times a month. Why? Because those items, the brand cares about them. Sometimes there's wholesale distributors selling it, right? So, maybe the product's brand registered, maybe, all in all, I'll say is the brand cares. So you're at a higher likelihood of getting an IP complaint. And also the popular stuff, I've noticed just from experience, those are the items that get freaking returned. And, especially the Sony stuff, the newer Sony stuff and the new electronics, people are just returning it and they want to get their money back. They're just counterfeit. And it's Amazon's okay, prove it that it's not. And if you're buying from eBay or from a thrift store or selling stuff around your house or even from wholesalers or distributors where the chain of custody isn't very good, you're kind of SOL. So for me, how am I able to flip 35,000 products in 2.5 million and have all zeros. Not that I haven't gotten IPs and counterfeits in the past, and we could talk more about that as well. And your account can typically handle some of them depending on how much volume you're doing and if you're newer or if you're more seasoned. I am seasoned, so my account could take more. But how am I doing this? Because I'm flying under the radar. I'm not going after the super fast, the super popular stuff. Number two, if the brand's on the listing and you're buying from eBay, or even if you're buying from Amazon, matter of fact, even if if you have invoices, don't buy the product. You're just asking for BS to be coming after you, right? You're just asking for the brand to file an IP complaint. They care about it, right? Why do they care about it? Because they're on the listing and you're taking money out of their pocket, right? And you're probably selling it for less than them. So if the brand's on the listing, don't sell it. How can you tell if the brand's on the listing? Get yourself seller amp. And before you buy a product, just look and see who's on the listing, or go into Keepa, go into the buy box analytics and take a look and see who's been on the listing before. Usually the brand is going to have the name of the brand on it. Stay away from it, right? If it's super popular, stay away. If the brand's on the listing, stay away. Also, number three, take a look at the number of sellers on the listing. For me, I'm trying to flip items where there's a history of 3, 4, 5, 6 people on the listing. Even if there's 10 or 20 or 30, that's fine as well. But you just got to be aware that the more sellers on the listing, just a better chance of it price tanking. That's why I love eBay to Amazon over traditional online arbitrage and traditional retail arbitrage, like going to the clearance aisles and stuff, because everybody's doing the same exact thing. Everybody's buying the same exact thing. Oh, the profit looks amazing, and then everybody sends everything in and it tanks. So you're either the first one in or you're the last one out to make your money. So look at the number of sellers, see if it's trending up, see if it's trending down, but I'm looking for a steady amount of sellers. It just gives me more confidence. And if you're doing like eBay to Amazon or whatever model you're doing, you're typically going to get to know the players that are in the game. Like I know the people who are flipping eBay to Amazon with DVDs and electronics. There's like 10 to 20 hard hitters. There's hundreds of others, but like I know the hard hitters, and if I see them on the listing and they're coming and going and I see them, like winning the buy box, and you can look and discover all this within Keepa's buy box analytics, right? I've talked about this a million times. I feel like nobody does it, but look and see if there's like your competitors on the listing. That's a good sign, okay? If there's no one on the listing, or there's only one seller and there's no history. And number four, and I'll just jump right into this as well. If you look at the number of sellers and it's like 10, 11, 10, 11, then boom, 1, that could be a sign that the brand hit everybody with an IP complaint, or it could be everybody got gated like off of it, right? Or maybe there's like a high pricing error, possibly. That could be the case, but you don't want to be messing with products where, there's big drop-offs in the Keepa count of the number of sellers, right? So avoid the fast sellers. If it's too popular, stay away if you don't have good invoices, right? Like me. If the brand's on the listing, stay away. Even Amazon. If Amazon's on the listing, I don't really like competing with Amazon. Not that I can't win the buy box with them, because you could just undercut a couple percent, but there's either a nice Amazon or there's mean Amazon. Like there's nice, play nice price, like let everybody win the buy box Amazon, and then there's just freaking Amazon will drop the price from 200 to 120 and mutilate everybody and not give you the buy box. So I just feel like if Amazon is on the listing, it's also a higher chance of possibly getting an IP, or it's more popular. Amazon's usually not on the listings that aren't super popular, right? I'm not really super concerned if it's, Amazon, where they sell like the third party stuff. I'm talking like Amazon.com, the new stuff. Kind of worries me a little bit. Tip number 5, you could use a tool. It's a little Chrome extension called IP Alert. I think this tool's overrated. I used to freaking think it was the best thing since sliced bread. It's okay. It works off of a database. Obviously, they have a database of brands that they have, maybe users have reported to them that there's been issues. I don't know how much they keep this database up to par. Plus, like, the issue that I have with some of these tools as well is, like, some of these tools, even like SellerAmp, will be like, oh, stay away from Sony, IP Alert issue. Or I don't know if IP Alert will say stay away from Sony, but sometimes they'll like say like brands to stay away from. But for me, like, the game is a little different, because not all, as an example, Sony products are created equal, right? Even with Lego, I don't know if Lego is known to give IP complaints. I've never really heard of it, but there's really fast-selling Lego that just got released that's freaking a rank 22 in the toy category, and then there's Lego that's 586,000 rank that sells once a month. Which one do you think is going to be a higher target of getting an IP complaint, right? And the same with Sony. Like, you think you're really going to get a freaking IP complaint from like a Sony cassette player that's 29 years old? Or even a counterfeit. It's like, if you got a counterfeit with that, it's like, I feel like I'd have a good case with Amazon to be like, counterfeit, like, this is like 29 years old. Do you think people are counterfeiting this? So, I mean, IP Alert can help you to give you confidence if you're going after like more popular stuff. But like I said before, don't freaking just ignore rule number one. If you're using IP alert's good for like keeping you away from brands you've never sold before that are really popular for the most part. But outside of that, I mean, I don't even think IP alert's really worth it anymore if you're gonna do eBay to Amazon. Another tip too is if you're getting letters in the mail, this is another thing to keep in mind. Like I got one recently from, what was it? Kohler sent me a letter, and they've been sending me letters, and I just kept selling the stuff. Here's the thing, if you're getting letters in the mail and they're threatening you, usually they're doing that because they're not in the brand registry program and they can't hit you with an IP complaint, but sometimes it makes me a little bit nervous. Like, I'm just in this game right now to make as much money as possible. I don't think I'm gonna be doing eBay to Amazon in 15 years from now or 10 years from now, at least based on what Amazon's doing with all these rule changes and everything. So like, I'm just milking the cow for as much money as I can right now with eBay to Amazon. And I'm trying not to do anything that's super duper risky, although some of you may argue, but if I'm getting letters in the mail, I just feel like there's like a 1% chance of probably getting sued, and there's maybe like a 30% chance, like probably 10 times more likely you're gonna get an IP complaint from somebody who sends a letter, even though it kind of contradicts myself, because from my understanding, I thought the reason they're threatening you with letters is they're not in the brand registry program and it can't hit you with an IP complaint, but I just might not understand it enough. Like, I guess my understanding was the only way they could hit you with an IP complaint is if they're in the brand registry program, right? Like, isn't that how brands are able to kick you off listings and hit you with IP complaints? So like, why are they threatening me with letters in the mail if they could just hit me with an IP and kick me off? So I don't know, maybe some of you guys can help me in the comments with that. I'm not like the most educated, but that's what I was thinking. But if I get enough letters in the mail, usually I just stop selling that particular ASIN, but all because you're getting letters for a particular ASIN within a brand doesn't mean you can't sell other stuff. There's certain products within the Sony, the Kohler line that are more popular that they care about versus like slower selling 20-year-old stuff. The brand's not on the listing, it's not manufactured, it's old, it's 20 years old. I mean, I flip a lot of that stuff, guys. It's stuff that just flies under the radar. And some of you guys don't understand, what does it mean to fly under the radar? Sell slower selling stuff that's less popular. The brand's not on the listing. Nobody's getting kicked off. Nobody really cares. It's hard to kind of source and find it. Like, you're not gonna go to a store or Best Buy and find these items. You're going on eBay, you're making best offers, you're finding it on Facebook Marketplace. These are slower, less popular items, but you might be thinking all because it's a slow seller, it's gonna sell slow. Not necessarily, because it might sell 2 or 3 times a month, but there's only 1 available or 2 available. So you better believe it when you come on, you're gonna get that sale, especially if you're FBA and you're winning the buy box. So that's just something to keep in mind with the letters in the mail. I'm just reading off my notes right here. Another thing to keep in mind to keep your account safe, especially if you're going after, like, I would say DVDs. If you're going after DVDs less than 10,000 rank, complete series, the sellers have like multiple quantity available, like they're selling 5, or sometimes on eBay it'll say 10 plus, or maybe you're at a thrift store and you scan it and like the cover kind of looks weird, like maybe it's like a Pinocchio, but it looks off, the color's like distorted. It's weird, and it's like a fast seller, and you know, you look on Amazon and people have like 22 in stock, 15 in stock. On eBay, people are selling multiple quantities. It's a low rank. That's the stuff that's gonna get you in trouble, right? That's the stuff that, it's just risky. And it's the same with like medical equipment. Like I know somebody recently who got kicked off of Amazon, suspended, a big seller. They were selling kind of sketchy stuff. Like, I hate to say it, sketchy stuff in the medical field, just things that I would personally never flip, but this guy was awesome, good friend of mine. But when you play with stuff that's risky and you're selling really fast selling stuff, and I know this guy, he was selling stuff that is just going to increase your chance of getting your account suspended, right? It's kind of like, and I always give this stupid freaking example, I got to find a better example, but it's like, if you're driving and you know, you got your hand on the wheel and you're paying attention and the music's off and that's your main focus driving, you're probably way better, like more likely to not get in an accident if something was to happen, versus what if you're, you know, driving with one hand on the wheel, you got your freaking seat inclined back like Ice Cube, you know, you got the radio blaring, you got your headphones on, you're texting, you're not paying attention, you're having a conversation with a friend. Who's more likely to be able to handle a nasty situation, right? And it's the same with eBay to Amazon and selling on Amazon. Who's gonna be in a better position to not get in trouble, right? Someone who's flying under the radar, going after items that are slower selling, there's not a lot of heat on the listing, they're not super popular, there's not hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars funneling through these specific ASINs, which, I hate to say it, I had a friend who was selling stuff like that. I don't think that medical item was the main cause of it, but it increases the chances, especially when I know he didn't have invoices. So it doesn't mean I'm gonna be safe. You could be doing everything right driving a car and someone just blasts through the intersection on a red light. It could happen, but a lot of you guys are trying to be 100% safe, and I don't know what to say to some of you guys. You want to make money in a business and be 100% safe, but that doesn't exist. It's an illusion. It's something you've made up in your mind or the gurus have told you. I don't know who's told you this, but if you want to run a business and be 100% safe, it's impossible. What you want to do is you want to identify the sharks in the water, and you want to figure out and put plans together to mitigate the risk. And that's what I'm doing, right? So staying away from the multiple quantities, focusing on slower selling products, right? I've talked about this, less popular, slower selling, 3 to 10 times per month. So before my team and I, we buy an item, we're checking the condition, making sure the condition is good, making sure it's got good like feedback rating on Amazon. The lower the ratings, like 2, 3 stars, 3.6 stars, just more of a chance of getting a counterfeit, more of a chance of, I don't know about an IP complaint, but a counterfeit, because people are like, oh, this item sucks. I'm just going to say it's a counterfeit because screw this brand. They think it's Amazon. They don't understand it's a freaking third-party seller trying to just, pay their bills. If you're selling books, you want to avoid getting sued. I would say even counterfeits too, but IP complaints, getting, having law firms test buy you out and getting in trouble and getting suspended. Make sure that you're using Books Run Counterfeit Calculator tool. It's free. Just Google Books Run Counterfeit Calculator. Slap in the ISBN number before you source a textbook. This is for textbooks, not really for like fiction or anything like that. And make sure that Books Run Counterfeit Calculator, right, when you put it in, it says that it's unlikely to be a counterfeit because they have a database. They're a part of some program. I forget what it's called, but there's like a lot of books that are just targets. It's BS, right? It's nasty what Amazon is allowing these publishing companies to do and these law firms to do. They should be thrown in jail for what they're doing. It is just nasty, very, very nasty. But you can't cry that there's a shark in the water. If you're gonna go in the water and there's a shark in the water, what is complaining gonna do? Okay, the shark's in the water, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna run my book through Books Run Counterfeit Calculator. That's what I'm gonna do. Don't wanna play the game? Get out of the water. I don't know what else to say to get through to some of you guys, but that's very important, okay? And then I would say number 10 and 11, okay, is, and this is kind of the same thing, so I'll just throw it into one, is as you're sourcing more and you're selling more and you're getting an understanding of what's working, what's not working, you're building your Replens list, I would try to experiment less with items and brands that you've never sold before. And I would try to, expanding on this, double down on your Replens list, okay? Especially if you're doing eBay to Amazon. You want to get a feel for what are the products, what are the brands that don't give me problems? What are the particular ASINs that have a low return rate? What are the particular ASINs that they just sell quick? They're not tanking in price all the time. I'm not getting threatening letters in the mail. What are the textbooks, the particular ASINs that they don't have high pricing errors, right? Maybe there's certain publishers that just give you a hard time. For whatever reason, right? I'm not selling a ton of books right now. I'm big into the toy category. I'm big into DVDs. I'm big into electronics, but getting a feel for what's working and doubling down on that. That's why I'm a huge proponent, if you're doing eBay to Amazon, to use the Replen Catcher tool that I developed. And yes, I know I'm biased because I've developed it, but it's a one-of-a-kind tool. It doesn't exist outside of Replen Catcher. You can upload all of your best replens to Replen Catcher and it will track them 24/7 on eBay. And when it becomes available at a certain ROI, a certain profit, you can source it and you can flip it, right? You can also import all your orders in. Replen Catcher automatically does that. So you can literally go into Replen Catcher, see all of your orders, filter it based on price, add them all into the Replen Catcher, track and monitor them within 5 minutes, okay? So doubling down on what's working is really important. The more you experiment with like brands you've never messed with or things that are kind of sketchy, like if you get a gut feeling that's like I get people that message me like, what do you think about this? Like, I don't feel good about it. You shouldn't be asking me. I'm happy to answer it, right? I actually enjoy when you guys ask me, but I want you guys in the future to be able to catch your own fish and know if your gut feeling is telling you something's off, stay away from it, especially with eBay to Amazon or Amazon to Amazon flips. There's hundreds of thousands of freaking millions of opportunities. So don't put your account at risk, okay? So these are some of the tips of maybe what you can do to mitigate the risk. This is how I've kept my account clean, also with a good deal of prayer. There's a little bit of luck involved because you can do everything right and get screwed by Amazon. That's Amazon in 2025. We don't care about your reputation. We don't care about your feedback. We don't care how well you've done. We don't care. I know people, I won't share their names, who sell 1,000,000 times more than me. I mean, they're doing so much volume. They've been doing it since day one. I mean, I'm talking some of the biggest Amazon sellers in the whole world. Amazon knocking them out. One issue, boom, suspended. Millions of dollars they could have made. And then it takes them a month to get their account back. Or, you know, I know someone personally right now, I won't give too much detail to out them, big bookseller getting screwed right now. And they shut their account down and they freaking took their, I don't know how many books they had, like 100,000 or something. I don't know the exact numbers. I just heard this from a friend. And they pretty much are forcing them to destroy them all or ship them all back. And they give them like a huge bill. I don't know what the bill is, but there's sharks in the water. I don't know what to say. If you don't want to sell on Amazon, if you don't have the grit, if you don't have the discipline, if you don't have the balls, if you don't have the mental fortitude to deal with it, then get out of the water and go sell on eBay. Go sell on eBay. But the reason we sell on Amazon FBA, especially why we do eBay to Amazon, is because the profit margins are stupid insane. You can literally just get these items shipped directly to your house, or in my case, go right to a prep center. The items sell fast as a mofo, and you can leverage FBA, right? If you don't see the good in that, go sell on eBay. There's plenty of other opportunities. Go be a TikTok affiliate and, you know, whore out all these products and just whatever. It's just, I did that and then I was like, I just feel like I'm I feel like I'm on the corner of the road, right? In downtown, north end of Hartford. I feel like I'm out there shaking my booty to give me a couple nickels or dimes. I don't want to do that. But if you want to do that to make some money, go do it, right? If you want to sell on eBay, go to thrift stores. It's safer, less stress, but then you work 60 hours a week, go do that. I'm just sharing what I'm doing. A lot of you guys don't understand that you want me to reinvent the wheel, share with you some secret recipe. My business is super simple, and this is how I keep my account safe. So if you want to keep your account safe as well, follow these rules. But with that being said, guys, much love. Appreciate you. I really do. I appreciate everybody who watches these videos. And if you ever have any questions, leave a comment down below or join my free Facebook group, eBay to Amazon Masterclass on Facebook, or I have a book selling group. Just check the links down below in the description. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Much love. See you in the next one.